Hello, everybody. Welcome to my live stream. This is July the 11th. That means 7-Eleven. It's Free Slurpee Day. Did you get a free Slurpee today? Honestly, I totally forgot all about it, and I did not get a free Slurpee. But it's good to be here. Looks a little like it's cutting out a little bit here. Just after midnight in Ontario, and it's the morning wherever you are, Partworks comics reader. That's great. Um, yeah, it looks like some technical stuff. I don't know, something's wrong with my camera or something. I don't know. We'll see how it works. As long as you can hear me and keep up, then that's fine. Oh, the Traveling Man warehouse sale. I think you posted something about that in the Facebook group. Going to find some cheap comics. That's great. Hope you find some epic collections or something. I've got a couple of packages that I got in the mail just recently. I'm going to open these up, and then I will cap that off with this box here that has uh, feels like maybe two epic collections in it, but we'll find out. I bought these from Indigo because that's where I regularly shop, other than my local comic shop, which I should do another live stream just to show you all the stuff I got recently from the comic shops because I got some really, really cool stuff. Anyway, let's see what's inside this one here. This is Manga. This is 100 Tales by Osamu Tezuka. And I just love Tezuka's work. I've been a big fan of his, Astro Boy and Black Jack and all of that. And I've got almost everything that he's ever had translated into English, or everything that has been translated into English. Not much these days. That whole movement of translating classic manga has kind of dried up a little bit. But this one came out just recently from Ablaze, which is a comic book publisher that's out of Spain, I think, or has some connections there. But anyway, really great to have a new book by Tezuka that I haven't read before. Um, it's a collection of short stories, and he's just a great storyteller. He's funny, but then also very serious and hard hitting. His style leans definitely more on the cartoony side when you compare him to like Lone Wolf and Cub or something like that. But um, really fantastic stuff. Um, Lots of detail. He had a studio with some assistants, but there's lots of detail in some of these backgrounds that he did. Um, so yeah, never read this before. Don't know anything about it, but I do like his catalog of stuff. So very excited to read this one here. Some more people are joining us. William Lee, good evening or good morning. Yes, good evening for me. Good morning for you. Erwingu says hey, and Martin caught two of these live streams in a row. Let's keep the streak alive. Well, I don't pre-announce them, so we'll never know. You'll never know. Yeah, you'll never know when the next one is going to be. So I can't help you. Hopefully, you'll catch it. Okay, so the next one on the list here is Weird Fantasy Volume 4. I can't believe we're up to Volume 4 on all of these titles that are coming from the EC archives. They're coming out so fast. And I've been loving them, but you know what? I'm trying to figure out whether or not I want to keep going with these books or not because um quite frankly, the stories, while they're individually they're great, it's still um it gets redundant, I guess, over and over again. Um, so I don't know if I need to have the entire EC catalog in my collection, or if I could probably stop. I've probably got like 20 of them now. Seems like a good representation. And then maybe I'll pick up the volumes where once if they introduce a couple new lines, where it's the volume ones, just to get those ones in the mix. But yeah, 4 volumes of weird fantasy. It's probably fine. I really do like this cover, though. This is a collaboration between Al Williamson and Frank Frazetta, two incredible artists. I'm assuming that Frank Frazetta is doing the inking here because a lot of these poses look like Al Williamson. So really, really great. Um, I do love these, that's for sure. Okay, now the moment you've all been waiting for. We're gonna open up this box and see what's inside. Yes, the camera is glitching a little bit. I'm not exactly sure why. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why it's glitching a bit. What are we going to see today? We've got two books to talk about. Oh boy. This is a book that I honestly didn't expect to ever be reprinted because it is not the greatest era of Daredevil, but this is one of the infamous quad graphics epic collections. And if you don't know what quad graphics is that they're a printer, one of the printers that Marvel used to work at, and they have a couple of different printing plants across the country, and one of them in particular in Saratoga Springs um, did a terrible, terrible job printing about 5 or 6 of these epic collections, and they were just very poor quality. They used a very minimal amount of glue in the spine, so pages were falling out. And this one in particular had a misaligned spine, so like it was bleeding over the edge of the cover. In fact, there was a scoring mark that went down the spine, random glossy pages throughout some of the issues here, and a lot of people were complaining that the covers were so thin that they were curling backwards. In fact, I think maybe they had um, printed them on the wrong angle or something like that. So um, yeah, but people voted in the reprint poll that we did that they wanted this one reprinted because they wanted a better copy than what existed before. So now we have it. This is Daredevil Epic Collection Volume 19, Root of Evil, starring Daredevil when he was in his black costume with the armor plating on the shoulders and on the kneecaps. This is the DG Chichester run. In fact, it's the very last few issues of actually Chichester ended, I think. Yeah, so Chichester ended in the previous volume, Fall from Grace, and this is when Daredevil kind of goes into flux for a little bit. Chichester's name's on here because he does a 4-issue miniseries called Elektra: Root of Evil, which is um, again really just focused on Elektra and kind of bringing her back into the forefront because um, she had been dead for a while. So they brought the team back. Chichester and Scott McDaniel were the creative team on Daredevil for a few years before this, and now they do this mini series. And then Gregory Wright um, does a lot of the writing and I think some of the artwork in here as well. Nope, no artwork. He just wrote, but he is a good artist. Um, Warren Ellis, JMD Mateus, and then Alan Smithy, which is a name that which is a fake name that a lot of art writers will use if they are too embarrassed by their work and they don't want to associate their name with the finished product. They'll put Alan Smithy, and actually that might be Chichester. Chichester might be Alan Smithy in these last few issues, like if I remember correctly. But anyway, um, the stories in here, it's a real grab bag. This is like I said, not my favorite era of Daredevil. Um, People didn't really know what to do with him at this point because he's kind of gone in a more dark, edgy direction, and I say dark edgy because, like, Frank Miller is dark edgy. His Daredevil is dark and edgy, but this is a different kind of dark and edgy. This was the 90s. There's some Scott McDaniel classic layouts right there. This miniseries actually ties up some loose ends that were started in Chichester's run through the Fall from Grace era. So it is a good companion to the previous volume, which also wasn't my favorite Daredevil volume. But if you like Scott McDaniel, especially his stuff on Nightwing, this is kind of right up his alley. He was pretty experimental at the time. Who's that? Is that the Kingpin? That's a Bill Sienkiewicz cover if I've ever seen one. Um, but yeah, he remains in this black and red costume throughout this book. I think, does he get it back at the very end? I don't remember now. But who are the other artists in here? We have Tom Greinberg, who I remember from The Infinity Watch, Scott McDaniel, Alexander Ubran, Keith Pollard, Ron Wagner, and Arvell Jones. So yeah, there's not Keith Pollard and Ron Wagner go back to the 70s of Marvel. So that's some pretty good talent right there. What year was the first printing of this epic? That's a great question. One that I don't have the immediate answer to. I should have brought my volume up here to my desk to compare them. Let's see here. 2000 Daredevil. Where's Daredevil 19? 12, 5, 6, 17. Heart of Darkness. Root of Evil. It was in 2018. It came out in 2018. That's when all of those. So the other Quad Graphics books, in case you're interested, um, Amazing Spider-Man, Venom. Let's see here. Doctor Strange, Volume 1, Master of the Mystic Arts. Hulk, Volume 3, The Leader Lives. Avengers, West Coast, How the West Was Won, Volume 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one's 5. And then also a reprint of Iron Fist Volume 1. Those were the ones that have the tainted touch. And I think this one might be the last one that needed reprinting, actually. I think all of the other ones have been reprinted now. Avengers, yes. Oh, Hulk. Hulk still needs to be reprinted. Hulk Volume 3. Once we get that one, all of the quad books will have been reprinted, and if people wanted to, they could replace them. The question is, will you be replacing your Quad Graphics copy with this reprint? My answer is yes. I am happy to have this because it is just going to be a better quality book. Probably Solisco, as that's who's been printing the epics for the last few years now. Yep. Solisco in Quebec, Canada. Good job. Okay. Next. It's an epic collection. It's a modern epic collection. Venom needs a reprint. It has been reprinted since the Quad Day. So there are Quad Graphics, non-Quad versions of the Venom Spider-Man epic collection out there, just so you know. But I think it's out. It probably needs another reprint. Man, my camera's really glitching. I don't know why. Hopefully it'll be okay. Anyway, this is Venom, Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 6, Space Knight. This is when Venom goes to outer space. And I'm sure Space Knight, you all remember that term because of ROM Space Knight. Well, this is kind of playing in that world because there were a lot of elements, even though ROM was a licensed character, there were a lot of elements like this of the Space Knights in the ROM world that were created by Marvel and that Marvel kept the rights to. So even though ROM had to go once the license ended, they could still play in that sandbox, and so they're taking Venom, which at this stage is Flash Gordon, Flash Thompson, and he is on part of the Guardians of the Galaxy at this time, and um, they are in outer space. So let's take a look inside here. This is Colin Bunn. So I the first part of this here, let me read to you this. The first part of this is Venom, the 2011 series, issues 36 to 42. That's the second part of the Colin Bunn run, the Bunn run, that started in volume 5. So it's concluding in here. And then the remaining issues of this volume is Venom Space Knight, issues 1 to 13, which I believe is the entire series. I don't remember. But let's take a look at this. So I was kind of hoping that they would give us some of the recap pages. There's a lot of stuff that happens between Colin Bunn's time on the title and the revamp to Venom Space Knight. There's going to be kind of a time jump right in the middle of this issue of this epic collection because he joins up with the Guardians. They even go back to the symbiote homeworld. Like that's the first time it's that they really showed in comics, and it's part of this story with Flash Thompson. But that happens before the Space Knight series. It happens in the pages of Guardians of the Galaxy, and they don't put those issues in here. I really wish they kind of would have. It's only like 2 issues, but anyway. Oh, this is nice. It looks like the artist on the cover. There's also a superior Spider-Man story with Flash Thompson Venom that they're not including in this as well, which is too bad. This is kind of nice. I like the painted artwork in these early issues of the Space Knight series. Very cool. I like that a lot. There's a cover to issue number 5. Never read any of this, but fighting panda bears in pink jumpsuits. That sounds pretty cool. I'll take that. I'm excited to read this because people have told me that they like this run a lot. So we'll have to see. There's some Guardians. That looks like Gamora. Venom with his tongue. So there you go. Yeah. Looks like the panda's a regular character. That's cool. Okay, so who does the Space Knight issues? Let's have a look here. Robbie Thompson. Robbie Thompson, and the artist is Ariel Olivetti. That's great. That's the first 7 issues, and then Kim Jacinto takes over for issues 8 and 9. Yeah, that's good. Wow, very cool. This is the era that really starts to develop the backstory of the symbiotes, and I think it won't be long before we get to the volumes that really include a lot more of the, King in Black and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and then I think uh, Flash Thompson isn't through with the suit yet. I think we have another volume or so, and then after that, Eddie should be returning in a couple of volumes. Let's see here. This would still be before the X-Men Blue crossover stuff, I think. Pretty sure Bunn was writing both. Uh, could be. I don't know if Bunn was it Bunn or was it Cates? Because I think Bunn is finished. Bunn is done with his run at this point here. I don't know that he comes back. Not really a fan of Venom, but I could read one run. If I could read one run, I think this is it. Yeah, well, I mean, he's very, very different. So if you're not a Venom fan, this is pretty far removed from what Venom usually is, so that might be a good option for you. Ah, man, I don't know what's up with my camera. It's just glitching all over the place. Anyway, that's our two epic collections that we're going to talk about today. Venom, Modern Era Epic Collection, Volume 6, Space Knight, and a reprint of Daredevil, Volume 19, The Root of Evil. And man, this glitching is getting worse. So you know what? I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to figure out what's wrong with my camera so that next time I live stream, it will be all better. So thanks everybody for hanging out with me. And now it's all, I froze up for a second there. Um, yeah, it's getting worse. I should probably hang up. I should probably see you later. Have a good night, everybody.